ॐ ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत्। ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम् इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातं गुह्याद् गुह्यतरं मया विमृश्यैतदशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु सर्वगुह्यतमं भूयः शृणु मे परमं वचः इष्टोऽसि मे दृढमिति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम् इष्टोऽसि मे दृढमिति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैष्यसि सत्यं ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः इदं ते नातपस्काय न भक्ताय कदाचन न चाशुश्रूषवे वाच्यं न च मां योऽभ्यसूयति य इमं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेष्वभिधास्यति भक्तिं मयि परां कृत्वा मामे वैष्यत्य संशयः न च तस्मान्मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च मे तस्मात् अन्यः प्रियतरो भुवि अध्येष्यते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादमावयोः ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टस्यामिति मे मतिः। ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। think yesterday we were looking at 65th verse. I will quickly browse through once again. The last paragraph of this verse. In the second chapter, he first talked about Sankhya, knowledge, and then said, listen to me about this Karma Yoga, Yoge tu Imam Shrunu. Later, in the third chapter, he said, in this world, two committed lifestyles were told by me before. Arjuna, knowledge for the sannyasis and Karma Yoga for Karma Yogis. लोके अस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया अनघा ज्ञानयोगेन सांख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्. Here at the end he again sums up the entire Gita in these two words, Karma Yoga and Sannyasa, in the next two verses. The Lord says, this is Hita, something that is good for you. There are many things that are good for a person, but what is absolutely good is moksha, the knowledge of Atma being Brahman, and the means for that is also considered Hita. The next verse considers Karma Yoga. मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि सत्यं ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे. Manmanaha, one whose mind is offered to me. Madbhaktaha, one whose devotion is to me. Madhyaji, one whose worship is to me. Bhava, become. Mam, to me. Namaskuru, do salutations. Mam eva, to me alone. Eshyasi, you will reach Satyam, truly. Te, to you. Pratijane, I promise. Me priyah asi, you are dear to me. Manmanaha, madbhaktaha, madhyaji, bhava. Mam namaskuru, mam eva eshyasi satyam te pratijane me priyah asi. Become one whose mind is offered to me, one whose devotion is to me, one whose worship is to me. Do salutations to me. You will reach me alone. I truly promise you, because you are dear to me. I repeat, become one whose mind is offered to me, one whose devotion is to me, one whose worship is to me. Do salutations to me. You will reach me alone. I truly promise you, because you are dear to me. Summarizing Karma Yoga. If he becomes all this, Arjuna will reach Krishna. Manmanaha means the one Parmeshwara as the object of his mind. The mind itself is referred to Ishvara. Naturally, he is Mad Bhaktaha. His devotion, his commitment is to Ishvara alone. Whatever he does is for the sake of Ishvara. All his rituals, yagas, all karmas are only for Ishvara. Madhyaji. Ishvara alone is his refuge, the locus of his surrender, and thus Krishna says, may you salute me, Mam Namaskuru. And Shankara adds, may you salute only me. When this is so, you will reach me alone. Mam eva eshyasi. He gives him a promise. I truly promise you, satyam te pratijane. Here the end, sadhya. Here the end, sadhya is Ishvara and the means sadhana and what is offered are all for Ishvara alone. Any action that is performed by the mind, speech, or limbs is done as worship to Ishvara for the sake of gaining that very Ishvara. Generally, these instruments of action are pressed into service to perform acts of worship, keeping in view a certain result like heaven. Here, the result is only Parameshwara. You do not want anything less than Parameshwara. Then again, all the instruments of action, Karanas, are non-separate from Parameshwara, and the very actions, Kriyas, which you are for the sake of Parameshwara. Whatever duties you are enjoined to do are all for the sake of Ishvara. We have seen this before. Worshipping him, Ishvara, with one's own duty, a person gains success. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. That was the 46th verse. I will repeat once again. यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः. From whom is the evolution of all beings, by whom all this is pervaded, worshipping him with one's own duty, man attains perfection. When you do something just because the situation demands it, that is duty. When you analyze this properly, it is clear that what is to be done in a given situation and what we call dharma are one and the same. What is not to be done and adharma will also be one and the same. Conformity to dharma is exactly what worshipping means here. The commitment has to be in keeping with dharma because dharma is non-separate from Ishvara, who is both the efficient and material cause. Abhinna nimitta upadana karana. That is pointed out by saying that Tam, the one who is to be worshipped, is the one from whom all beings emerge and by whom they are sustained. Yatah pravrittihi bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. Though the jiva is not created but is Paramatma, still due to ignorance, all the subtle and gross upadhis and all the subtle and gross aspects of the five elements arise from that same Parameshwara. I repeat, though the jiva is not created but is Paramatma, still, due to ignorance, all the subtle and gross upadhis and all the subtle and gross aspects of the five elements arise from that same Parameshwara. Therefore, it is not merely the maker, the intelligent cause, nimitta karana, but because it pervades everything, is necessarily the material cause, upadana karana also. Therefore, all that is created is non-separate from Ishvara. If that is so, all the natural laws and laws of dharma, which are not created by any individual, are also non-separate from Ishvara. What is commonly sensed by all of us is dharma, which is non-separate from Ishvara. Conformity to that is what is told here as karma yoga. Karma is meant for varieties of things. Karma yoga is meant for only one thing, antakarana shuddhi, for the sake of jnana. Please remember, I repeat, karma is meant for varieties of things. Karma yoga is meant for only one thing, antakarana shuddhi, for the sake of jnana. The karma yogi has no confusion about what he wants, purushartha. He knows that nothing but the discovery of his identity with Ishvara will solve his problem. No jiva can accept anything less because nothing else is going to work. Whatever he does, he will continue to be a seeker. That will only be resolved when his sense of isolation is given up, and that is only possible by discovering that he is everything. Until then, no jiva will rest content. Therefore, Ishvara is his end. Thus, Krishna says, "You will come to me alone. Mam eva ashyasi." The obtaining non-separation, obtaining oneness is not a created oneness. It has to be discovered. Any created oneness will end in separation because if two things are brought together, they will separate either by death or some other calamity. Some form of entropy will cause the separation to take place. But here, the oneness is already accomplished. Atma is Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It is the only source of consciousness, not the knower, known, or instrument of knowledge, but the consciousness that is common in all three, that obtains as the basis of the invariable in all three. The recognition of that oneness that already exists is what is called moksha or gaining Ishvara. Here, Lord Krishna gives Arjuna a promise that he will reach him. Satyam te pratijane. He need not say this at all, but he tells this to Arjuna in order to create Shraddha in him. He can make such a promise because there is no way you can miss him. He is you. Why does he say this when he need not? He himself gives the reason, because you are beloved to me. Priyaha asime. You follow what Bhagavan says here and you will reach him. All you have to do is to prepare your mind and pursue knowledge as you are doing now. The result, moksha, is inevitable, and there is no question of missing antakarana shuddhi, because devotion to Ishvara will take care of raga dveshas. They get neutralized because you are doing what is to be done, not purely what you like, and you are doing it with devotion. Therefore, Antakarana Shuddhi will take place and moksha is not going to be far away. Therefore, pursuit of knowledge is also part of a life of Karma Yoga. The clarity of knowledge increases as the antakarana becomes freed from the hold of raga dveshas. This end is assured for one who has devotion to Ishvara. He is the end to be accomplished, and He is the one whose grace I seek to help me recognize my identity with Him. I repeat the last sentence. He is the end to be accomplished, and He is the one whose grace I seek to help me recognize my identity with Him. The end to be accomplished is Ishvara, and the accomplishment is in the form of I am Ishvara, Ishvaroham. Thus, I become one for whom Ishvara is the end. Previously, it was said that whatever you do, yat karoshi, you should do it as an offering to me, tat kurushva madarpanam, tat kurushva madarpanam,
Madarpanam.
Kshamita. Yeah. Thus I become one, I repeat, thus I become one for whom Ishvara is the end. Previously, it was said that whatever you do, yat karoshi, you should do it as an offering to me, tat kurushva madarpanam. When all actions are offered to Ishvara, keeping him as the goal, and for the purpose of Antakarana Shuddhi, all our ragadveshas get neutralized and have no more hold over us. Lord Krishna has said that raga dveshas are there in the mind of everyone and exhorts us not to come under their control. Raga dveshau sarvesham buddhau vyavasthitau tayoha vasam na agachet. It is the
Vasham na agachet.
Yeah, Vasham. Kshamita. It is, I will repeat the shloka from chapter 3, 34. Ragadvesho.
Tayohu,
Chapter 3.
yeah. Ragadveshau buddhau vyavastitau tayohu vasham na agachet. Ragadvesh sarvesham. Right.
इन्द्रियस्थेन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्नवशमागेच्छतः यस्य परिपन्थिनौ. Kindly correct me. तयोर्नवशमागच्छेतः यस्य
Tayornavashamagachet.
यस्य परिपन्थिनौ.
Tayo vasham na gachet.
तयोर्नवशमागच्छेतः यस्य परिपन्थिनौ. Attachment and aversion for the objects of the senses abide in the senses. Let none come under their sway, for they are his foes. Having raga dveshas does not mean that you have a problem. But if they have you, you have nothing but problems. I repeat, having raga dveshas does not mean that you have a problem. But if they have you, you have nothing but problems. Gaining mastery over our raga dveshas is accomplished by karma yoga, which is not one action, but a committed lifestyle of doing what is to be done with a proper attitude. Because of this, one gains antakarana shuddhi and is therefore prepared to gain knowledge, jnana. Besides this, karma yoga, the Gita also talks about renunciation of action, sarva karma sannyasa through knowledge, which is moksha, and also the lifestyle of sannyasa. In the next verse, Lord Krishna is going to talk about renunciation of action through knowledge, jnana karma sannyasa. So beautifully, Bhagavan has described how devotion to him paves the way to him only.
Bela, can you repeat that paragraph where he talks of although the jiva is not created,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
5 elements and everything.
yeah.
Can you
Correct.
read from that one more time?
Yeah, yes, sure. Though the jiva is not created, but is Paramatma. Still, due to ignorance, all the subtle and gross upadhis and all the subtle and gross aspects of the 5 elements arise from that same Parameshwara. Am I reading correctly? There is a comma. Though the jiva is not created, but is Paramatma, still due to ignorance, all the subtle and gross upadhis and all the subtle and gross aspects of the 5 elements arise from that same Parameshwara. Therefore, it is not merely the maker, the intelligent cause, nimitta karana, but because it pervades everything, it is necessarily the material cause, upadana karana also. Therefore, all that is created is non-separate from Ishvara. If that is so, all the natural laws and laws of dharma, which are not created by any individual, are also non separate from Ishvara. What is commonly sensed by all of us is dharma, which is non separate from Ishvara. Conformity to that is what is told here as karma yoga. Karma is meant for varieties of things. Karma yoga is meant for only one thing, antakarana shuddhi, for the sake of jnana. The karma yogi has no confusion about what he wants, purushartha. He knows that nothing but the discovery of his identity with Ishvara will solve his problem. No jiva can accept anything less because nothing else is going to work. Whatever he does, he will continue to be a seeker. That will only be resolved when his sense of isolation is given up. And that is only possible by discovering that he is everything. Until then, no jiva will rest content. Therefore, Ishvara is his and. Should I read further?
Yeah, this is the reason why we are all seeking happiness.
Hmm.
We cannot be we cannot rest content until we realize who we are. So unfortunately, we tend to go outwardly in seeking happiness, not realizing that is our true nature.
Yes, and that happiness we are seeking from objects. Happiness we wish that is infinite, that remain forever. That happiness we want. That is impossible from this finite jagat.
Correct. From samsara, that's not possible.
Unless we have that identity with Ishvara, it is not possible. So that contentment comes, that purnatva can be realized only when we achieve that identity with Ishvara. And that is not through, it is not achieved. You are that. It is like, it is not becoming, it is being. It is already there. We just have to recognize.
Is discovering it.
Yeah, so beautiful. So all our efforts for the samsara, but so beautifully the nimitta karana, upadana karana, both is Ishvara.
Yatah pravrittir bhutanam. He is both the upadana as well as the nimitta karana.
Yeah.
And it is only this single veil of Maya which has brought about this distinction between the upadana and the nimitta karana.
And laws of Ishvara too, no? That is also included.
That is
Nimitta
also
upadana. That is the biggest thing.
which is why when we are following dharma, it is like a worship of Ishvara.
So the definition of dharma is so wide. It is not just
It is not
religious, but
created by anyone.
yeah,
It is universal.
it is universal.
Universal common sense and common. It is that innate compass that is guiding us. It says, no, this is not right, that is right. You don't need anyone to tell you. You don't want to be hurt by anyone. That is how the self-protection is. Any animal, if you look at any animal, any creature. So the same thing is you do to others. It's a simple definition of dharma is you don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you.
So beautiful, yeah.
Say Gurudev, in his earlier chapter, he mentioned whether you're an Eskimo or a Boston Brahmin, if somebody stamps on your leg, it hurts.
It hurts. Correct.
Beautiful.
True.
And the word here, prati jane. Brahmaraji, can you just, it is, jane is like jnana. Prati jane, he is adding more weightage by adding that upasarga prati. Satyam te prati jane. So beautiful. It is like after you recognize that you are Ishvara. Could you please tell little more, Brahmaraji? Very beautiful sentence it is.
I think Satyam te pratijane, right?
Yes, the truth which is non-duality, I think that is the truth.
So he says, when you are offering everything to me, you're keeping me only in the mind and then doing things. He's giving him a promise. Satyam te pratijane priyo ime. Because you are dear to me, because you are beloved to me, once you live on in this attitude, with an attitude of a karma yogi, and then once you realize the truth, satyam te pratijane. He says, when you do this for certain, you will reach me. You will attain me. Where Swami again says this is because he wants to give Arjuna the surety is going through in order to make his faith stronger. Because if you remember, when he started off in the Arjuna Vishada Yoga, he was a total wreck. He says he just dropped his bow down and he didn't want to fight. So from that state, he's taught him the Sankhya, Karma Yoga, Jnana, Dhyana, all of that. And then he's told him, he says, if you do this, you will certainly reach me. So to just enliven that spark of faith in Arjuna, which is also what we all need, no? We all
Correct.
have a little doubt. Oh, it seems so difficult. Will we able to do it this lifetime, some other lifetime? So that little doubt is taken care of by this. So he's cementing it with this faith, saying, no doubt in me. So because it is the faith which is that lead, the rope with which we hold on to this path. No? If we didn't have the faith, we would not continue doing what we're doing. Subtly is that faith. Whether we recognize it or not, there is that faith. But from time to time, there may be it might get lashed over because of doubts, self-doubts coming up, doubts about the technique or the master. Those 3 doubts, fundamental doubts that Gurudev talks about. So every time that happens, just strengthening the faith. So these shlokas that Bhagwan has given us will make our faith even stronger. Like even in chapter 6, he talks of Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Bijayate. And he will not, whatever he's done, the sadhana he's done, will not go waste. That is what he's going to carry forward. It will only take him onto the path, more and more onto the path of evolution. So
again,
what we do here is polishing. We have to just keep polishing ourselves, polishing the antakarna, getting it out of all the mala of the raga dveshas.
And the element of Shraddha, again and again, he's telling.
Which is why he also says, no, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara samyatendriya. It's not enough if we have Shraddha. Shraddha is a very important aspect. But tatparaha also has to be there. And samyatendriya, one who has his indriyas under his control and he has a say over his indriyas.
What is means? I am also asking the same thing. Tatparaha. What is tatparaha?
I think offhand, I don't remember what tatparaha is. Maybe we can check out the meaning of tatparaha. Tatparaha probably is there is no one else apart from him. Tatparaha. So keeping him as ultimate.
Yeah, I think so. That is correct.
But we'll recheck. We don't want to leave any doubt there. We'll check it out.
And that Shraddha also comes with his grace only. Otherwise, there will be always the doubts. So only karma, no, karma yoga is important. Doing karma will only bring us back to the samsara. But swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Offering all our karmas to him and doing with that attitude.
What are the what are the laws of Ishvara? That sentence, Nimitta Karan, Upadan Karan, and laws of Ishvara is important. So, what are the laws of Ishvara? Whatever we get as a result, we should accept it as a prasada and do our karma yoga. Like that, it is saying. And the laws of dharma, natural laws and laws of dharma.
Natural laws, I would think, is ahimsa, non-violence, honoring all life forms. All that is natural dharma. That is what God has created this whole universe for everyone. So, ahimsa would be one law of nature. We don't have the authority to destroy another life. I would think like that. So, all that for me, this is what comes to mind. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra, no, Yama Niyama, those things are the laws of Bhagavad Dharma. And the other one, laws of karma, or what was it you said?
Dharma.
Dharma would be like God says, no, you have right only on action, but not on the result of the action. So that is one law of God. We used to think, or at least I used to think, that whatever I do, I will get this result, and it is because of what I'm doing. And I can expect that result. But only now I understood that I have right only over my actions or non-actions. Whatever result I get is what Bhagavan gives. And I have no right over it. I cannot demand that. Or even if I demand, I may not get it. That is one law. And what else? And the other law is that when Bhagavan says that he is present in every thing in this creation. So whatever you do it as a yagya bhav. This is also something I learned only 2 years ago. That you are doing everything as an offering to God. That is another law which I think we need to bring it to our mind, to the forefront all the time. Because usually we don't think like that, no? Even our normal household work, we just do it mechanically. We don't think much. Or if at all we think, oh, I'm doing it to clean my house, cook for my family, like that. So instead of thinking like that, this is what I'm thinking. Instead of thinking like that, I should rewire my thinking, saying that whatever I'm doing is an offering to Bhagavan. So that is another law. Am I right or no? I may be wrong, but this is how I'm thinking. I'm concluding.
No, you are
Yeah,
right.
well, that is the attitude. You're right. So you're
Can't hear you, Brahmaraji.
devoted to it, and who has subdued the senses. Samyatendriyaha obtains this knowledge, and jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadhi gacchati. And having obtained knowledge, before long he attains supreme peace. So tatparaha means being devoted to it. So like when we are talking about what Sumaji is talking about, going about doing all your daily activities, and it's just a shift in attitude. It's a shift in the way we are thinking. It's like you're doing things happily. You're doing things out of joy, not for joy, number one. And the second is you are bringing in the aspect of honor and respect in everything we do. We are honoring creation. We are honoring Ishvara when we honor everything around, living, non-living things around. How we deal with even, our books, our clothes, everything. When in Art Excel, when we talk to children about being sensitive about objects, not to just throw their shoes here and there. So what are we teaching them? We're bringing them that aspect of respecting everything. So it is a shift in our attitude, and that recognizing the presence of Ishvara in everything around. And then following the laws of karma. The karma is like you already said. We only have an action. Karmane vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phalahe turbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. So you have only right over action, not over the result of your action. That does not mean you will stay without doing any action. So do not resort to inaction. Fold up your sleeves and get on to work. Do it, but drop the result. He does not also say don't expect any result. Without an expectation of a result, you don't even embark upon doing anything. You expect it, but whatever the result, take it as prasada. That is the law of karma. I wouldn't say law of karma, that is karma yoga. So even this sentence that this will be resolved. Whatever he does, he will continue to be a seed. No jiva can accept anything less. The karma yogi has no confusion about what he wants, purushartha. His purushartha is just moksha. He knows that nothing but the discovery of his identity with Ishvara will solve his problem. No jiva can accept anything less because nothing else is going to work. Because it will only leave us with that sense of incompleteness. So whatever he does, he will continue to be a seeker. That will only be resolved when his sense of isolation is given up. And that is only possible by discovering that is everything. So here the seeker, the sought, and the means of seeking, all of them merge together into that oneness, into that Advaita.
And then Jiva will rest in content.
There is no Jiva there. There is the Jiva, Ishvara Aikyam happens. Isn't it?
Oneness
That
happens.
is, oneness happens. There is only one. There is no Bheda there. Which is why in the beginning it was said there is no Jiva created. That is only an illusion. It is only because of this, because of the veil of ignorance, this veil of Maya, that apparently Jiva is created. It is like in the dream, no, in our dream. Isn't dream an apparent creation? Where is the dream? Where are all the dream bodies and the dream people and the dream situations? They all merge the moment you wake up. So that moment of realization, of discovery, that the dream person that you were merges with the one that you are, the truth that you are. I think if anybody else has to share, wants to share, can do. Otherwise, we can continue.
Please continue.
Oh, sorry, Shankara's introduction to the next verse. Introducing this verse, Shankara says that the greatest secret of commitment to Karma Yoga is surrender to Ishvara. Ishvara is the sole refuge to whom the individual Jiva surrenders all his karmas. In this dharma, the moral order is looked upon as Ishvara. I repeat, introducing this verse, Shankara says that the greatest secret of commitment to Karma Yoga is surrender to Ishvara. Ishvara is the sole refuge to whom the individual Jiva surrenders all his karmas. In this dharma, the moral order is looked upon as Ishvara. Only then can we call it Karma Yoga. If that vision is not there, one can be an ethical person but not a Karma Yogi. For Karma Yoga implies accepting Ishvara as the very order of Dharma. Once that appreciation is complete, what is the result? Karma Yoga itself is not the end, but through that you pave the way for the clear vision of what is what? Samyak Darshana. Namely, you are Brahman. This is what we call Jnana Karma Sannyasa. It was said, the one who sees no action in action and action in inaction, he among men is wise. Karmani akarma yah pashyet akarmani cha karma yah sa buddhiman manusyeshu. I think it is from chapter 4, verse 18. कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु Sayukta Kritsna Karma Krita. He who recognizes inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is a yogi and a true performer of all actions. And mentally renouncing all actions, the indweller of the body is seated happily in this nine-gated city, neither doing nor causing anything to be done. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya aste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karyan. That is from chapter 5, 13. I think we should by heart this all. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्. Mentally renouncing all actions and fully self-controlled, the embodied one rests happily in the city of nine gates, neither acting nor causing others, body and senses to act. Throughout the Gita, Krishna has talked about Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation of all karmas by knowledge. What is that knowledge? I, Atma, am not the agent, Karta. By knowing that all karmas are completely negated. The one whose mind is in that Brahman, whose self is that, whose commitment is that, whose impurities are destroyed by knowledge, do not return again. Tad buddhayah, tad atmanah, tannishthah, tad parayanah gachanti apunarvrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashah. I think I'll read the shloka, that is chapter 5, 17 verse. तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः. Intellect absorbed in that, their self-being, that established in that, with that for their supreme goal, they go whence there is no return, their sins dispelled by knowledge. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, walking, sleeping, breathing, talking, releasing, grasping, opening and closing the eyelids, contemplating that the sense organs move about among the sense objects, the one who knows the truth, who has self-mastery, thinks, I do not do anything at all. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyate tatvatit tatvavita pashyan shrinvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visarjan grihnan unmishan nimishan api indriyani indriyartheshu vartante iti dharayan. That is from chapter 5, verse 8 and 9. नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्. I do nothing at all. Thus would be harmonized knower of truth, think, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, going, sleeping, breathing. प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्. Speaking, letting go, seizing, opening and closing the eyes, convinced that the senses move among the sense objects. All these verses should be remembered as we look into this 18th chapter, because the essential part of all that has been said is going to be presented here. Finally, renunciation of action through knowledge, Jnana Karma Sannyasa, and the sannyasa as a lifestyle are pointed out here. This verse deals with both sannyasa as a yoga or a means in terms of lifestyle called Vividisha Sannyasa, which is the result of a life of karma yoga, and also the result of that sannyasa, which is Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation of all action by knowledge, knowing that I am not an agent. Both are covered in this verse. Therefore, it is a complete summing up of the topic of sannyasa. The previous verse sums up karma yoga, and here it is pure knowledge. Should I read once again or we can discuss? Just let me know.
Please read again.
Yeah, okay. Shankara's introduction to the next verse. Introducing this verse, Shankara says that the greatest secret of commitment to Karma Yoga is surrender to Ishvara. Ishvara is the sole refuge to whom the individual jiva surrenders all his karmas. In this dharma, the moral order is looked upon as Ishvara. Only then can we call it Karma Yoga. If that vision is not there, one can be an ethical person but not a Karma Yogi. For Karma Yoga implies accepting Ishvara as the very order of Dharma. Once that appreciation is complete, what is the result? Karma Yoga itself is not the end, but through that you pave the way for the clear vision of what is what. Samyak Darshana. Namely, you are Brahman. This is what we call Jnana Karma Sannyasa. It was said, the one who sees no action in action and action in inaction, he among men is wise. Karmani akarma yah pashyet akarmani cha karma yah sa buddhiman manushyeshu. And mentally renouncing all actions, the indweller of the body is seated happily in this nine-gated city, neither doing nor causing anything to be done. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya aste sukham vashi navadware pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. Throughout the Gita, Krishna has talked about Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation of all karmas by knowledge. What is the knowledge? I, Atma, am not the agent, Karta. By knowing that all karmas are completely negated, the one whose mind is in that Brahman, whose self is that, whose commitment is that, whose impurities are destroyed by knowledge, do not return again. Tad buddhyah, tad atmanah, tad nishtah, tad parayanah gachanti. Apunarabrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashah. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, walking, sleeping, breathing, talking, releasing, grasping, opening and closing the eyelids, contemplating that the sense organs move about among the sense objects, the one who knows the truth, who has self-mastery, thinks, I do not do anything at all. नैव किंचित करोमि इति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन् प्रलपन् विसर्जन् गृह्णन् उन्मीषन् निमिषन् अपि इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते इति धारयन्. All these verses should be remembered as we look into this 18th chapter, because the essential part of all that has been said is going to be presented here. Finally, renunciation of action through knowledge, jnana karma sannyasa, and the sannyasa as a lifestyle are pointed out here. This verse deals with both sannyasa as a yoga or a means in terms of a lifestyle called vividisha sannyasa, which is the result of a life of karma yoga, and also the result of that sannyasa, which is jnana karma sannyasa, renunciation of all action by knowledge, knowing that I am not an agent. Both are covered in this verse. Therefore, it is a complete summing up of the topic of sannyasa. The previous verse sums up karma yoga, and here it is pure knowledge. May I request Sumaji if you can take over?
Yes,
Are
I
you
can.
available? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Kindly share your understanding about the introduction to the next verse. The one who doesn't have the kartrutva bhavana at all, and the one who accepts all the results of his action as prasada from Ishvara, is said to have renounced all karma, and that is karma yoga and jnana karma sannyasa. Yeah, kindly share your understanding. Very important. It is a summing up of the whole about karma yoga and sannyasa. We have to also recall that story of Krishna and Agastya Rishi, who was offered the food by gopis.
See, there are two ways of life, or two paths, or two lifestyles. I think that is the better word. There are two lifestyles on this path. One is that of karma yoga, and the other one is of sannyasa. So karma yoga is the path where you are acting, you are doing your things, you're Swakarmana tamabhyarcha, you're doing it, keeping Ishvara in mind. Whereas once you're doing karma yoga, once you are a mature karma yogi, that sets the stage for sannyasa to happen. And this sannyasa is not just sarva karma sannyasa. It is not just renouncing action. It is jnanena sarva karma sannyasa. So it is with knowledge. So it does not mean that the sannyasi does not do any action. Even though he's doing, he sees inaction in action and action in inaction. So that Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, he's doing, they're all actions that are happening. But he sees himself as the non-doer because he has achieved the lifestyle of sannyasa is that of a Vividisha sannyasa. But once he attains this knowledge, he recognizes and discovers this, then he becomes a Vidvat sannyasa. So although he is doing, it is only the senses and the organs are doing, but he remains. There is Ishvara, Brahma, Atma, whatever name we call it, that remains still actionless. So once you become a mature karma yogi, then this jnana karma sannyasa you're creating that field for that jnana karma sannyasa to happen. And what is that jnana? Is that I am not the doer.
That samyak darshana happens there though, then. I am that.
So this pure knowledge is happening.
Yeah. And he says, karma yoga, both karma yoga as well as sannyasa take you to the same end. It is not like only if you become sannyasi, you will become. These are the only two lifestyles. But ultimately, even a karma yogi is pursuing knowledge. And once he gets that knowledge, that jnanena karma sannyasa happens even for a karma yogi. He does not necessarily need to take on the orca robes and renounce his family and everything and go to the Himalayas. All that is not required. While doing karma yoga, pursuing knowledge, he still attains the same goal as that of a Vividisha sannyasi.
Shall I read?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva pabebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha.
Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha.
Thank you. Sarvadharman, all karmas, parityajya, giving up. Mamekam, me alone. Sarva sharanam vraja, take refuge. Sarva papebhyaha, from all karma. Tva, aham mokshayishyami, I will release. Ma suchaha, do not grieve. Giving up all karmas, take refuge in me alone. I will release you from all karma. Do not grieve. This is considered to be the last verse of teaching in the Gita. The teaching of the Gita begins with the statement, you are grieving over what does not deserve to be grieved for. Asochan anvasochastvam. Asochan anvasochastvam. I hope I read it right. And it ends here with do not grieve. Ma sucha. Therefore, it is clear that the whole purpose of the Gita is to remove sorrow. Here it is said, Sarva dharman parityajya, giving up all dharmas. Mamekam sharanam vraja, take refuge in me alone. We have to see what dharma is here. Lastly, Krishna says, I will free you from all papa. Therefore, do not grieve. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. I will free you from all papa. Therefore, do not grieve. Should I read for another 3 minutes and then I'll play the shloka?
Repeat that paragraph.
Okay. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masuchaha. Giving up all karmas, take refuge in me alone. I will release you from all karma. Do not grieve. So here all karma includes both our positive and negative. So really he is liberating us. So nice. This is considered to be the last verse of teaching in the Gita. The teaching of the Gita begins with the statement, you are grieving over what does not deserve to be grieved for. Asochan anvasochastvam. And it ends here with, do not grieve. Ma shuchaha. Therefore, it is clear that the whole purpose of the Gita is to remove sorrow. Here it is said, Sarva dharman parityajya, giving up all dharmas. Mam ekam sharanam vraja, take refuge in me alone. We have to see what dharma is here. Lastly, Krishna says, I will free you from all papa, therefore do not grieve. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha.
Nicely he connected, that Arjuna's sorrow ends here. That's the best thing. Very, very good. So to end the sorrow, we have to follow Bhagavad Gita. Wonderful. For that only I wanted repetition. Thank you.
So do everything for Bhagavan, then he will release us from all karma. So nice. And all sorrow. What is meant by giving? Should I stop here or let me see how much is there. Okay, I'll just read this page and we'll finish for today. What is meant by giving up dharmas? Giving up all dharma is giving up all actions through knowledge. When we closely analyze the whole Vakya, we can see that Jnana Nishta is what is mentioned here. Shankara says that when it is said that all dharmas should be given up, Sarva dharman parityajya. The word dharma here includes both dharma and adharma, because the intended meaning of both the Shruti and Smriti is freedom from action, naishkarmya. This means the complete giving up, parityaga, of all karmas. As long as one is subject to karma, one is in samsara. Therefore, one has to become free from all karmas in order to be free from samsara. If Gita is a moksha shastra, it is to provide a means to get rid of all karmas. So nice. We know that it is impossible to get rid of all karmas by exhausting them because they are countless. Nor is it ever possible to give up an action even for a second. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. So not
Jatu karmakrit.
Jatu tishtati karmakrit. Akarmakrit, no? Akarmakrit.
Yes.
So nor is it ever possible to give up an action, even for a second. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. This is only one way actions are given up by sheer knowledge. Jnana karma sannyasa. So there is only one way actions are given up by sheer knowledge. Jnana karma sannyasa. Atma is not an agent, karta, nor is it an object, karma, of any action, nor connected in any way to any kind of action. That is the nature of Atma. And therefore, it is by nature free from all karma, actionlessness. Then it is equated to moksha. Very nice. Giving up dharma includes giving up adharma also. By explaining that adharma is to be included in the word sarvadharma, Shankara has made it clear that giving up dharma does not mean failing to give up adharma. This is supported by the Kathopanishad, which says that the gain of Atmajnana is not possible for the one who has not withdrawn from improper activities. That adharma is included when we say sarvadharma, is expressed not only in the Shruti. In the Mahabharata too, it is said that one has to give up dharma and adharma, and that one should give up both truth and falsehood. Finally, give up that by which one gives up. That is the mind. Finally, give up that by which one gives up. The notion by which one thinks that one has given up, that also should be given up by knowledge. That means notion of agency, kartatva, should be given up. So there is some footnote here. Kathopanishad, and I suppose this is Mahabharata. I don't know. Yeah, Mahabharata. So very nice. So dharma and adharma to be given up. And finally, give up that by which one gives up. That is the thought, the notion.
Mind.
The thought that I'm giving up. Yeah, that also
Yeah.
is should.
Yeah.
Tyaja dharmam adharmancha ubhe satyanrite tyaja. Ubhe satyanrite tyaktva yena tyajasi tat tyaja. Tyaja dharmam adharmancha ubhe satyanrite tyaja ubhe satyanrite tyaktva yena tyajasi tat tyaja. Please give up dharma and adharma. Give up both truth and falsehood. Giving up both truth and falsehood, give up that by which you give up.
It's like a last that in the yagya we use that stick, no? The last stick also we have to drop.
Correct. We'll stop here today. We should have stopped maybe 15 minutes ago, but never mind. Today we'll continued here. Today, incidentally, according to history, is the birth of Bhagavad Gita. I'm told, got through some source. And today also is the day that this body, the one that is talking, was born several years ago. So I'm very, very grateful. Jai Gurudev.
I think it was yesterday, Ekadashi, Bhagavad Gita.
Happy birthday, Brahmaraji.
Happy birthday,
Brahmaraji.
Oh, happy birthday, Brahmaraji.
सागर में एक लहर उठी तेरे नाम की, तुझे मुबारक खुशियाँ आसमां ज्ञान की, तुझको है
आनंद में जाकर मिल जाना,
तुझको है अनंत में जाकर मिल जाना, आप है सुंदर
सुंदर
फूल हमारे
पूरे संसार की।
इस चेतना की,
So
आप
much,
है सुंदर फूल इस चेतना की, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू.
The Sanskrit song also should sing. Sanskrit song.
Have you, please be in Jnana Nishtha. Blessings for you.
Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
It's good.
And for taking us along, thank you too.
Yeah, lots of love and blessings, Didi.
So much, yeah. I'm so grateful to you, Brahmaraji. I'm able to even chant this Lalit Sahasranama because of your rearranged the class. So nicely I'm able to chant. Thank you so much for everything.
Very, very grateful for all of that.
Yeah. जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रिय सखे, जन्मदिनमिदम् शं ते सर्वदा मुदम्, प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी, ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु, पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय, जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम्, जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रिय सखे, जन्मदिनमिदम्. Love you, Brahmaraji, with all
Lots
the
of gratitude. Yeah. Lots of gratitude to each one of us. Ultimately, we are not born. Ajaha, nityaha, shashvataha. Right? So,
We are never
but the
born,
journey has
never
to
die.
continue. Yeah. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya.
Ajo
And
Nitya Shashwata.
thanks to each one of you for being, staying together on this beautiful journey. Yeah. On that note, we'll close today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om
Happy birthday,
Tat Sat
Brahmaraji.
Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
जय गुरुदेव. Happy birthday. सागर
Thank
में
you.
एक लहर उठी तेरे नाम की,
Thank you so much.
तुझे मुबारक खुशियाँ आत्मज्ञान की. जय गुरुदेव.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं